Sometimes because I know sign language, I kind of creep on people in public. And okay, not like actually, but I just get excited when I see sign language in public. For example, today I had an orthodontic appointment, and while I was in the waiting room waiting for my orthodontist, I saw another orthodontist who was signing and had an interpreter. The deaf orthodontist introduced himself to the patients and was signing, and I was trying to be subtle but also like kind of watching him because one, I'm deaf myself and know some sign language, but also because I just get so excited. And like if it wasn't a healthcare setting, I would have been like, oh my gosh, hi, I'm deaf too. But like healthcare is different, time and place, right? But I just love seeing deaf people thrive in all different kinds of professions. When I was younger, I wanted to be a doctor, and you know what, I still might one day. And I took a bunch of pre-med classes in college, but it was always in the back of my mind, like because of my hearing loss, I knew there would be certain challenges with certain environments. But then the more I talk to healthcare providers who are deaf or hard of hearing, the more I'm like, oh, like it's actually not that hard to make accommodations in the workplace. I just like didn't have any representation of deaf people in healthcare settings when I was a kid. And so it was really nice to see that. I had a deaf or hard of hearing teacher growing up, but I kind of wish I would have had like a deaf audiologist or a deaf physician or like a deaf nurse. There's actually a deaf nurse on here that I follow who has talked about like using stethoscopes and like accommodations for that. Because that's another thing. It's like, how will I use some of the instruments that are for people who can hear? Anyway, all this to say, sign language is cool and I geek out every time I see it in public.